Thank you so much. I'd like to break with concert protocol and perhaps concert etiquette and introduce each one of the works. I've sat in those seats before. As a parent of a band, choir, orchestra concert, wondering what the piece was all about and marveling as to how perfectly my child played in the ensemble. But sometimes if you have a little heads up, it makes it a little bit easier to understand some of the music we're playing and what it's all about. The opening selection was called Portrait of a City from Spark, British composer, intended to give us a fast ride in a fast machine through downtown London, or as he calls it, at night. It was entitled Skyline. It's a brisk, moving piece that hopefully will be exciting. That was that particular piece. I'll introduce the next two pieces a little bit so you can have an understanding as to where we're going. The next piece we're going to play comes from the choral repertoire. It's entitled, as some of my new friends behind me will have sung this particular piece. It's entitled Rest. The original version is entitled There Will Be Rest. It's written by the American composer Frank Kelly. Frank is head of composition at the University of Southern California now. Played in the band, played trumpet in the school band in Texas. Went off and earned all of his degrees. And as many composers now, particularly band composers that specialize in our activity, have begun to write for the choir. So this particular work is entitled There Will Be Rest, based on the Sarah Teasdale poem of the same title. Late 19th, early 20th century poet. When he transcribed it for the concert band, he kept almost the exact orchestration, the exact voicing, the exact registration that he had in the choral version that we wrote first. The biggest difference is once it gets to the climactic moment of the piece, he opens the stops up in the band, much like opening the stops up in the organ, pipe organ. And there's a broadness and a broadness that's in the symphonic repertoire. But you should know about the poem because I discussed it with the children and they may want to talk to you about it once they get home. Sarah Teasdale was a lyric poet and American, and she was frustrated with her art because she for some reason couldn't satisfy her own musical soul while she was here. So she wrote this poem, There Will Be Rest in My Soul One Day. She couldn't find her peace on earth. And she took her life at the age of 48, frustrated with the way that life had turned for her as an artist. In this case, the poem. And she left us this absolutely beautiful work called There Will Be Rest. And it's not the reasons for her passing on were not important to us as much as it is the overall arching notion of sometimes life is good and sometimes life is not so good, and sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees, which is a lesson learned for all of us. I taught public schools for 37 years. I dealt with kids from the age of 14 to 18 every day of my working life. And their emotions range, and they are impacted by a lot of different things that adults are impacted by. But the reason that the poem is really important to us today, you'll hear a 4-note motif. 1, 2, 3, 4. There will be rest. And it kind of permeates the piece. And it's a beautiful, beautiful word, not sad at all. So when Frank Kelly took the words of the poem and transcribed it over, he used it as a motivic development on those 4 notes. And when we get to the climactic part, you'll hear that also. The piece we're going to play after that is written by the American composer William Billings in around 1740, 1745. There were 2 songs of the American Revolution that were popular. One of which was Yankee Doodle, And the other one was this song, Chester, one of the oldest songs. It was the battle cry of the American troops in the American Revolution. They were singing from Vermont all the way down to South Carolina. This particular edition, this setting of Chester was done by William Schumann in 51, 57, around the time I was born. And William Schumann was head of the Juilliard School. He was head of the Lincoln Center. He transcribed this for the orchestra, wrote it for the orchestra, eventually transcribed it for the band. And you hear all the personalities assemble themselves with a beautiful hymn that has angst in it. He starts the second movement off really agitated. But when he gets to the very ending of it, and we hope that we can play it for you, it's very, very glorious. And you can tell that it was the battle cry and the song of the American forces during the American Revolution. So hope you enjoy in order Frank Kelly's Rest and William Schumann's Chester. We'd like to close our concert. It's too far to walk for me. And I'm retired now, so walking is a problem. I'd like to close our concert with a spirit rendition from march written by the March King at the end of the First World War, John Philip Sousa. Feel free, if you feel the spirit, and clap along. It'll mess the recording up, you'll feel good in the process. Back home when we play a march, we typically tap our toe to it, but you can clap along with the spirit, just clap in time. Kids have done a marvelous job. Obviously, they have tons of notes to play. It just meant for the first time, it seemed like it was like this morning. And they've done a remarkable job, as it should be. The orchestra will do the focus choir. I must admit to the choir, it was nice to hear the national anthem with trained voices in the room at the same time. Very loud, and the high and bullets and bayonets.